What exactly are Chinese characteristics and why do they actually work? Let me show you something that I think most people don't even know exists. It's called the Red and White Affairs Council. So in China, colors aren't just colors, they have meaning. Red typically stands for happy events like weddings, and white stands for mourning like funerals. So the Red and White Affairs Council is usually a self-governing group made up of respected, elected villagers, and their responsibility is to help manage weddings and funerals. But why do they need to do that? Because in China, and especially in some rural areas, there are long-standing customs that have become kind of outdated and expensive. For example, in terms of weddings, the groom's family is often expected to pay a bride price, which can run into tens or even hundreds of thousands of yuan. To put that into perspective, in 2025, the average disposable income for rural residents was around 25,000 yuan. Or at funerals, hosts are expected to put on massive feasts, sometimes with over 100 tables. I have to say though, these traditions may have started with good intentions, like showing filial piety, but nowadays they can often turn into serious financial pressures that families feel they have to keep up with, or in some cases can set a family back for years. So to address this, local governments encourage these councils to step in to essentially help people save money. And they reform these traditions through rules like this. And it's interesting to read through them because the rules can get very specific. For example, this council says, if the bride price stays under 36,000 yuan, you will be rewarded 6,000 yuan. However, if it goes over 66,000, you will lose villagers' benefits for 3 years. Alcohol served should be kept under 60 yuan per bottle and cigarettes under 20 yuan per pack. Here's another one. No wedding convoys with more than 10 cars. And if you ignore the rules and insist on extravagance, council members will not attend. The thing is though, these rules are not created out of a vacuum. They're usually made after widely consulting with the villagers. So they vary from place to place, and they are effective. Many villagers say they can now spend much less without worrying about societal pressure or losing face. And to me, this is what Chinese characteristics are about, is that behind grand words and policies like rural revitalization, you have this deep and granular understanding of the Chinese society, of the Chinese people, and there's this recognition that one solution doesn't fit all. To move forward, you have to have this tailored, researched, and highly detailed plan that people are often glad to follow. Anyway, it's interesting to dive into this. Let me know what you think about the council.